So the Pittsburgh Steelers just got some updates today that absolutely changed everything, and it's no surprise we're going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers. And I think we can agree that the number one question with him coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers to be on your team that you love is he going to be all in? Is he going to be fully committed? Well, today, I think there's several things that actually answer those questions. And first, let's talk about Zach Frazier being available to the media on the first day of camp today. And he really revealed the message that Rodgers gave to his new team on the first time that they're having contact. He basically just said he's all in, said Frazier. He's ready to get to work. And that was the main message. He is all in, ready to go from now on. And if you look back, I don't think Rodgers really liked the way that his 2024 offseason was covered with the Jets. That's when he skipped camp to, good grief, he went to Egypt, right? I think there were a lot of things coming out of what he was actually doing in Egypt, but let's just go with what we know for sure. I think that experience last year, he is saying that that's one of the reasons that he just waited until all of his personal business this offseason was taken care of before he made it official in Pittsburgh. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have officially opened camp. There's one notable absence, that's TJ Watt. I think there's going to be a lot of speculation as to when this contract is going to be signed. And if it's going to be signed, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers get it done because they don't have a history of trading superstar players such as TJ Watt. So I think that contract gets done. But let's actually talk about who's here. That's Aaron Rodgers. And he actually went through drills for the first time with the rest of the team's quarterbacks. And who do we have in tow now? We have Skylar Thompson. We have Mason Rudolph. And 2025 sixth-round pick Will Howard. I think that's really great for you guys as Pittsburgh Steelers fans to be able to know that Will Howard can actually develop behind Aaron Rodgers and actually, frankly, learn from Mason Rudolph as well without all this pressure to be the man this upcoming season. And maybe he could develop into something special. I think mentally he has it. He has the right makeup for that. So let's kind of talk about this. He went through drills with the rest of the team's quarterbacks, and that includes the three that I just mentioned. And afterwards, Rodgers, he further talked to the media, and this was after the first day of practice of mandatory minicamp. So after practice, he met with Pittsburgh reporters for the first time, and the first question that he was asked by the team on social media was this: why was Pittsburgh the right fit for him? And he had some things to say here. Let's break this down. I think it starts with Mike Tomlin. This is directly from Rodgers. I've been a fan of his for a long time. There's a few iconic franchises in the NFL. I played with one of them for 18 years. This is another one of those. There's something special about, obviously, this area. So many great quarterbacks are from Pittsburgh. He's going to continue here. I feel like Pittsburgh has been a part of my career from the beginning. Oh, this is interesting. Playing for Mike McCarthy for 13 years, having Tommy Clements, depending on how old you are, as my quarterback coach forever. And then he talked about Tom Capers, Kevin Green, Darren Perry, Ben McAdoo, Frank Signetti, Luke Getsy. I don't want to forget everyone, but there's a lot of Yinzers in my life. But again, the rapport that fell in between me and Mike Tomlin, that made it to where as I was going through my personal stuff, there wasn't any other option for me. I was going to come here or just not play. So he becomes the most important residence of the Steel City right now, and he arrives at a time when, a lot of you guys, myself included, are pretty skeptical, and I think we're going to stay skeptical together until Rodgers actually plays, until he wins some games with the third team of his career, and especially the last 2 years with the New York Jets were not encouraging, were not great, so I think he really has to prove himself here, and he's doing all the right things. He's actually taking the time to bond with his new teammates. He was in attendance for Cam Hayward's charity golf event. He was seen driving. You guys probably saw it on social media. He was cozying up with DK Metcalf, sharing a cart with him. And Rodgers and the Steelers agreed to this one-year deal. Really economical. It's a max value of $19.5 million, but it's only $10 million guaranteed. Really incentive laden. And he's coming off a season. He threw for 28 touchdowns to just 11 interceptions, so that ratio is still pretty positive. And if he can get there, if he can be like 85% of the Aaron Rodgers on the field, I don't like him personally. I don't like the guy off the field. I'm going to be honest with that. But if on the field, he can be 85% of vintage Aaron Rodgers on the Green Bay Packers, I think the Steelers are likely back in the postseason with a chance to really make some noise in the playoffs. And for the second year in a row, the Steelers, they've opened minicamp. They've opened actually mandatory minicamp with a Hall of Fame winning future Hall of Fame quarterback, Super Bowl winning Hall of Fame quarterback. Excuse me with that. And last year it was Russell Wilson. He wasn't re-signed. The Steelers courted Rodgers, and he's in town. So he actually is going to be wearing the number 8. He got the uniform number that previously belonged to punter Carlos Waltman. He switched to number 3, which is, ironically enough, Russell Wilson's old number. So let's hear from Pat Freiermuth. Why am I saying Freiermuth? Pat Freiermuth, what he thinks about this. It's been a new guy every year there for me. I'm excited to get to know him and work with him. And then we're talking about rookie Will Howard. He met Rodgers for the first time on Monday, just yesterday. And the 6th rounder, as he's exiting the locker room, he had a lot to say about Aaron Rodgers as well. And this is what he had to say. He's a super down-to-earth guy. You think he's big-time, famous guy. Everybody knows Aaron Rodgers. But he was down to earth and not at all what you would expect. I think that kind of is a loaded statement here. And he met Rodgers he met with the Steelers on March 21st, if you remember. Rodgers didn't sign until the conclusion of voluntary spring workouts. He's going to join this quarterback group, and a little more from Howard. I'm excited to pick his brain, see what he's like at the line of scrimmage and in the meeting room and how he sees things. I'm excited to get to work with him. And obviously, here comes the circus, right? His arrival, a horde of media and cameras, even a handful of national reporters, all here to watch his workout. And the vibe, it was different in the locker room before practice too. I mean, this is just a different level of scrutiny, right? Herbig had something to say. You'd be lying if you said it didn't feel different. I love Mason. I love Wilson. I love Will. I love Skyler. But it's Aaron Rodgers here. 4-time MVP. He won a Super Bowl. He missed all the voluntary spring workouts, but his teammates aren't really holding against him. They don't think it's going to make one lick of difference. If it's going to hinder him learning the playbook quickly and build a rapport, so far he's doing the right thing. And Freiermuth had this to say, a little more from him. There is more than enough time. He's been in the league 20 plus years. He has a way of doing things. It's more about us getting caught up and him getting caught up with what we're doing as an offense. There's a lot of time until September to do that and build that chemistry. Calvin Austin got into the conversation as well. You can't get any of that back. All you can do is maximize the time we have now, and I think we're definitely going to do that. He may seem to think that it's not beneficial that Aaron Rodgers is only showing up now. So it looks like the opinion isn't completely clear across the board. Doesn't all agree. But anyways, conclusion of minicamp, what happens? You're looking at a 6-week break until the start of training camp in Unity Township. A little more from Pat. I'm sure he'll want to work out with us and get to know us more. The skill position guys can get together. I'm looking forward to that. And now we're talking about defensive coordinator Terrell Austin. He was looking forward to actually not having to diagram a scheme designed to stop Rodgers. You guys remember the Steelers holding Rodgers in check, right? That big game by Beanie Bishop, 37-15 victory. But here's what Austin had to say, because Rodgers also spent 2 seasons with the New York Jets, but he was also with the Green Bay Packers 18 seasons before this, and Austin has a pretty wide view on him. This is what he said about Rodgers. He's a pain in the rear. He can get rid of the ball quickly if you're bringing pressure. He knows if you're not bringing pressure, he can hold it and wait for some things to develop just really sharp. And this is when he spent the 14-17 season. He was in Detroit as DC, In Austin, he was the main guy that was scheming against Rodgers twice a season, and this is what he had to say a little bit more. Always a challenge, a great player. He can spin the ball. He can get it. He knows who to get it to. He always presents a challenge that way. Looking at him at 41 years old, he still has the arm strength to win in the NFL. It's just a matter of how his decision-making is, how he blends with Arthur Smith's offense. But here's something that's encouraging, knowing that his contract has been agreed to for a very long time. He's had plenty of time to begin acclimating himself to Arthur Smith's offense. It's not a surprise that he decided to come into town. The coaching staff has been ready for him the whole time. And this is kind of the last thing of Austin that he's going to share with us. The only thing that has probably changed is he's not running as much in terms of trying to get away. I don't see any drop-off in terms of accuracy, in terms of ball speed, in terms of how he spins it. You guys, I'm going to be the first person that isn't absolutely thrilled to be covering Aaron Rodgers. In case you guys don't know, guilty as charged. I'm primarily a Bears guy. I came over here to your team when Justin Fields came to town. I was a big fan of him. And before I knew it, I was watching Steelers games, and now I'm doing a channel. Check out my Bears channel. It's doing really well. But I just want to provide an impartial view on your Pittsburgh Steelers, kind of an outsider's take that doesn't really have a dog in the fight. I think you guys would like to have some well-balanced and kind of impartial views on your players and what's going on in the Steel City. So I hope this is beneficial to you. If it is, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It is a huge blessing as we grow this channel together. And not a big fan of Aaron Rodgers personally, but I think he's definitely a huge upgrade. And like I said, if he can be 85% of vintage Aaron Rodgers, I think you guys really got something here. Let's just see how the team gels. Talk to you soon. I will continue to be here with Pittsburgh Steelers news on the daily.